the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
What's up, Cowboys Nation?
What is up? It's your boy Mike Tag here on a Sunday special. Just chilling on a Sunday morning. Figured to pop in a little bit, talk a little Cowboys. You know, it's never too early in the morning to do that. But also just wanted, again, thank you guys for all the support on the channel with obviously Jimmy D on Monday night, Kelly K9 and I ripping it up with the Cowboys. We've got some good stuff planned. You know, this week, of course, my Heat will take care of business tonight. So that means we'll be up 3-0. We'll be talking about that on Monday. And Wednesday, we got a special guest, Ian Beckles, played with the Bucks, but he also played with the Eagles. So we're going to get a look at that other side of the rivalry. But besides being an NFL football player, he was a radio broadcaster, sports broadcaster here in Tampa for a number of years, man. The dude is good. He brings it. So we're going to have that live on Wednesday. And then we also have a couple other guests that are coming up too. I don't know if you guys remember a guy named Steve DeBerg. He was a quarterback for 17 years. He was always in the wrong place at the wrong time. Every time he got a starting job, the team ended up drafting Joe Montana, Steve Young, John Elway, all these guys the year that he finally got hold of the quarterback position. But he's really knowledgeable, and he's going to be a lot of fun. And then the other one I'm excited about is couldn't get Tony Dorsett, but we got his son Anthony Dorsett, who played with the Titans and the Raiders and went to 2 Super Bowls. So we'll be talking some Cowboys, talking some football, and getting that things going. So make sure you guys stay tuned, hit that like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But again, appreciate all the support on the channel. And we got some good things coming up. And, of course, Dallas Cowboy football. So what more could you want? But more importantly, what I just want to talk about a little bit today was the defense. And could this Cowboys defense rank as one of the all-time great Cowboys defenses? I mean, you're talking about, you know, beating out the Doomsday defense, the Doomsday 2 defense, the 90s defense. So it's a tall task. There's a lot of history with great defenses in Dallas. But if you're thinking about the way, you know, Quinn and the coaches have kind of built this defensive side of the ball with the roster, the speed, playmaking ability, obviously 54 sacks last year, I think was third in the NFL. You know, can they get to that next level? Can we get even better? So just give me your thoughts, share them in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking. But, you know, breaking it down position by position, my favorite spot is the line. I think obviously our front is deep. We've got a lot of playmakers. You got some veterans mixed in with some young blood. So obviously Tank, you know, my boy Tank, he leads. He's a leader of that defense on the front. He's the veteran guy. He's consistent. He's always good against the run, gets the sacks where he can, but also helps open it up for other guys. You know, and then you got obviously got Dorrance Armstrong, Fowler. What's up, man? Good morning. I got someone hanging out with your boy, man. I appreciate it. See, someone's up. Someone wasn't out late partying on Saturday night, but the guy, if you're looking at a position group and you're looking at where I want to see some impact and I'm excited about is Sam Williams. I think he's one of those guys that can take that next leap into really bringing it and making that, you know, taking us from 54 sacks to 70 sacks, maybe, you know. And what's up, Ultra? Man, Ultra's up in the morning too, man. I thought you'd be out partying. Morning. So again, you guys jumping on, man. We're just talking about the defense, going to break a little bit down, just have casual conversations. What excites you on that defensive front? Sam Williams. I think that's the one for me. Micah Parsons, that's the thing. And we're going to get to the linebackers. Micah Parsons moving to full-time DN. When you add that just makes this defensive line, especially our edge rushers, even better. But then it's going to it has an effect on our linebackers, which we'll talk a little bit about. But defensive tackle, this is the spot where I was looking at some of the numbers. Our pass defense, yards per attempt is what I look. I don't really look at yards so much. I look at yards per attempt, and the Cowboys were near the top. Where Cowboys were near the bottom was run defense, yards per rush, 4.4 yards a carry. That is not where we need to be and where we want to be. And that's where I think Mozzie is going to make that difference. So when we get that pressure and we hold that defensive line, the defensive tackles hold it down and stop this run and hopefully get them in a third and long, predictable passing situations, that's when you're going to see Micah Parsons. That's when you're going to see Tank, Sam Williams, Fowler, and the rest of these boys going to light it up. So that's what excites me. And I know it wasn't a sexy pick, and we all talked about it. Wasn't that the sexy pick that's going to get all the fans all excited. But I think that's going to be the X factor for this defensive front, is if Mozzie can really help solidify that run defense, obviously with Hankins and the rest of the boys at defensive tackle. I think that's what's really, really going to open it up for our pass rush. Let's see what we got going on here. This is casual. Thank God we drafted Sam over Tolbert in a second. Sam Williams. No, I agree. I think Sam Williams could be a double-digit guy, because obviously with Micah Parsons and the attention he's going to get if they're bringing in Sam Williams on certain situations and moving him, and it's definitely I think it's going to open it up for some of those guys, almost like you saw with Dorrance Armstrong. The impact he had, and when you've got a guy like Parsons, or you got a guy like Tank on one side, it's just going to open it up. So I love the defensive line. To me, this defensive line, and I don't know if we've said it in a long time, but this is the strength of the team. Getting to that next level, the linebackers, that's where you could, might be a little bit of concern, but hopefully, again, it all falls back to the defensive line, defensive tackles. If they can hold it down and give LVE and the rest of the boys their lanes and give them, the freedom to move side to side. We've got a lot of speed on that linebacking core. Reminds me a lot of the 90s Cowboys when you had, Robert Jones and Darren Smith and Vincent Smith, all these guys. I think that's what I see with this team. So the linebackers, not big names. I mean, LV is the biggest name you got, but you got a lot of young, hungry guys that's got some upside. So I'm excited to see how any of them progress. Jabril Cox has been. I mean, where was he last year? I guess the injury he had the year before. I was hoping to see a little bit more out of him, but maybe he'll be able to get that going this year. And let me see. We always want to get the comments because this is a laid back Sunday. Being able to give that extra time to text, they're going to go. Yeah. It all ties hand in hand. I think the pass rush is going to give us more opportunities for turnovers in the secondary. And hopefully the secondary, doing their job is going to give the defensive line, defensive ends that extra half a second to get after that quarterback. So the other group that we talk about is the secondary. And I'm excited. I know some people, some haters were Gilmore is like, oh, you got this old guy, this and that. Well, I mean, I can name a bunch of cornerbacks that are older than him. And it's funny that some certain teams seem to fall in love with him and make him a Pro Bowl. But Gilmore was a defensive player of the year after that guy's last time making a Pro Bowl, talking about my man Slay. So I think Gilmore, we're not asking him to be the Gilmore of 2019. We're asking him to be the Gilmore of 2023, which is your number 2 cornerback. Hold it down. Diggs will take the other side. You've got Bland. What happens with that fourth cornerback spot? Is it going to be Lewis? I mean, obviously, I don't think Kelvin Joseph is an option. Eric Scott that we drafted, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about him. We got Redwine, which I don't know. I mean, he's a Miami guy, so I always got to go throw a Miami guy in there if he's in the secondary. So I think our secondary, our cornerbacks are strong. Safeties is probably as good as we've been, again, going back to the 90s, with Curse, Wilson, Hooker. I mean, you can even throw Izzy in there and Bell from, I think, FAMU. He was an undrafted guy. He's got, some size, got some potential. So, man, Jabril Cox be a cut candidate. That'd be disappointing only because of the promise that we saw. But, Yeah, if that happened. But I mean, I was looking at this roster. There's going to be some hard decisions that are going to be made because you're looking at this defensive roster, and I wrote all the names down and just trying to figure it out. It's like you can't keep them all. So to your point, I mean, linebackers. I wrote down 6 linebackers that we have, and we're not keeping 6. So Ultra, you probably will be correct. And talking about Gilmore, shut down AJ Brown. Yeah, I agree. He's still playing at a high level. Yeah, Newman. Damn, he did play for a long time, and he kept his speed for the most part. So I think Gilmore is going to be fine. I think people are going to do what they do with the Cowboys, and that's overreact and exaggerate certain things. That just comes with it. That just comes with the territory. So I got to get a quick drink, but yeah, and I agree. I think our cornerbacks, it's about as good as it's been. Secondary is about as good as it's been. Our defensive line is about as good as it's been. So, do you guys think this is the team, this defense can be at that elite level like the Doomsday, at the elite level by the 90s Cowboys? Because that's what we need. And I think this is turning into a defensive team. And we're gonna live and die by the defense. And we've got a tough schedule. I mean, you're looking at, last year, the NFC East made out pretty well, except for playing each other. I mean, we got a pretty favorable schedule. This year, it ain't gonna be that easy, and that's why I say, I took some heat for saying the Cowboys, 11 wins is what I'm seeing, and it's not that they're a worse team than they were last year. I just think the competition, the road games, you're talking about at Miami, at Buffalo, back to back, a couple road trips out to California. You just got to kind of look at the schedule, how it breaks down. And, it's just one of those things, man. Something's going to happen. Something weird's going to happen. But if they stay healthy, I personally think this defense is the best that they've had since the 90s. I mean, the 2007 defense was that was our last, to me, in my opinion, dominant defense. And I think this defense is going to, I think this defense will surpass that. But it doesn't matter if you don't win a Super Bowl. If you don't win the Super Bowl, I don't care what kind of defense you got. There's nothing in the record books for that. So defense being top 3, I think I'd be disappointed if it wasn't. The one thing this defense has done, when you forget about it, because I think it was a couple years and then they were able to do it again this year, is turnovers. I mean, they were number 1 in forced fumbles, number 1 in fumble recoveries. They were right there in interceptions. Fumble recoveries for touchdowns, they were number 1. I think they had 3. So this defense is, when you're doing that, you're putting your offense in a great position too. So if they can continue to do that, then, the offense got a short field to work with. I know we got some Dak haters, but I like what Dak and this offense can do, especially adding Cooks. The depth that we have now, even more. We had Schultz last year, so Schoonmaker. I mean, that's probably maybe a wash, or you could say it's a downgrade because Schultz was a veteran. But I mean, people forget Schultz. Wasn't like Schultz was this great dude coming out of college. He was, he was one that a lot of people early on they didn't really care for. They liked who was the other tight end that we had that got hurt. He was the main tight end for a while, Blake Jarwin. So, yeah, Bill. I mean, I sure hope so. I sure hope it's built like them Seahawks. I hope it performs like the Seahawks. So we'll see what happens. I haven't woke up yet. Mike had to drink coffee. My Miami Hurricanes. There you go. Now let's talk about them Canes. I got a response, and I told you guys I got a GOAT Miami Hurricane that's going to be coming up. Hopefully, we're trying to work out the schedule, but if we can make it happen. No one got it right, but he wasn't drafted by the Cowboys. Didn't really play much for the Cowboys. He was we traded for him, but he was a first-round draft pick. And when you talk about the Canes in that era, he was the GOAT. He was one of the OGs of the Miami Hurricanes when they started to become that dominance with the swag. There was a crew of them, and if you watched the U, he was he was in there a lot. So. Trying to get that locked up. Don't want to jinx it, but it seems like we got the commitment. It's just more getting the timing down. But definitely going to be talking some Canes football if we get him on about the old times, but also he's heavily involved with the Miami Hurricanes now. So it'd be a great, it'd be a great interview to kind of see what the inside information is and their thoughts on the Canes this year, because the Canes, man, we got to get this thing going. No, it wasn't Blades, because Blades didn't play with the Cowboys. This guy played with the Cowboys. And played with the Cowboys in the early '90s. So, but like I said, he didn't play much with the Cowboys. But he was he was an OG. He was an OG, and he was awesome. Oh, there you go. It took a little while. So yeah, Lonzo Highsmith, man. Hopefully we get this thing down. But him and Melvin Bratton and all them, they're represented in McCain's cave. But that I'm excited about. And the thing is, with Highsmith was interesting because he was a running back and huge numbers in college, and then he got drafted by the Oilers first round, and did all right, but then he kind of got converted into a fullback. And so it makes me wonder with Zeke, is that something that he may end up turning himself into, kind of that bigger back, fullback, short yardage, all that stuff, wherever he ends up. I heard he was in Pittsburgh at stadium over there doing something, but it'll be interesting where he ends up. I don't want to make it a Zeke show. Maybe the door's closed, maybe it's not, but hopefully wherever he finds an opportunity, hopefully he gets it and able to make the most of it. Because I always said, man, great teammate, good dude, and want nothing but the best for Zeke. I'm hearing a lot of good things about the Canes. Leonard Teller will be a beast. We got the best center. That's the key, is for the Miami. Now we're returning to this Miami show, is their offensive line. Offensive line is going to be critical. And really, with Mario, it's getting his guys in there. I know he was really disappointed last year. And, he made the comment, I guess some parents are complaining about playing time and this and that with their kids. And he said, if you guys have any problem with playing time, you guys can come pick your kids up. So he's trying to change that culture, and it's a challenge. I mean, the thing is now in college football with that transfer portal, they're just allowing these kids just go wherever the hell they want. If they don't get their way, they go. And that's just the mentality. If you look at, I hate to be a boomer, but when I went to school, when I played sports and everything, if you wanted to, if some dude was in your spot, you better bust your ass and take that spot. Couldn't go transfer to another school. We had a kid here. He transferred to play football in another city, and as soon as the football season ended, he transferred back to the school. And I'm like, why the hell? I mean, how the hell can you do that? But that's what they're allowing these kids to do. Competition, when the going gets tough, you find another way to get out of it so you can go play somewhere else. So that's a hard thing with college football. That's where it's changing, and I don't know how to work out. Hopefully for Miami, they're getting the right kids in there that want to get this team back to where it is. Because I was talking to a guy Saturday. There's nothing better than when Miami is at its top, at its best, when Notre Dame's at its best. For college football, it just makes it sweeter. Now, maybe I'm biased because I'm a Canes fan, but I really, as a casual football fan, I think it would even be better. And it's no different for the Cowboys. The Cowboys are great for the NFL when they're good. And hopefully that'll continue to happen. Yeah. Well, Deion Sanders is trying to get that culture back of competition, and if you don't like it, leave kind of thing. But it's going to be it's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough for him. It's going to be tough. If I'm Zeke, I retire, become entrepreneur. And no, I mean, he could, but that's the hard thing. Is a lot of times these players get criticized for hanging on too long and this and that, and man, he's how old is he? 30? I mean, you think about it, what do they do? They've been playing football their whole life, or playing any sport their whole life, and you're just going to go up and retire. A lot of these guys, a great career, you're retiring at 32, 33. So I get some of these guys want to milk every last ounce of their talent and opportunity. So, I'd never tell someone to retire soon, earlier than they need to. I think you just play as long as you want when it's your time. Either the NFL is going to tell you it's your time, and maybe they're going to tell him it's his time now, or he'll decide it on his own. It's not a money thing, right? I mean, these guys, you get a guy like Zeke, he's not hanging on for the money. He's got plenty of money. It's for the love of the game and just that competitive nature you have. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But again, you guys appreciate the support. One more plug. Hit that if you just joined. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe if you're not subscribed. We got a great week of shows. Like I said, just plug it again. Ian Beckles, Wednesday Live. That'll be interactive. We're not going to talk so much of his career, but he played with the Eagles. So the funny story with the Eagles and me is the game that he played 97 and 98. And if you guys remember, that was a Chris Bonio game. I was there for that when the Eagles were beating us the whole game, and Aikman came back. I think it was Anthony Miller. He threw 2 touchdowns to him, if my memory is right. Eagles went down to kick a game-winning field goal, and our old kicker from last year, they muffed it. It just almost looked like a Romo thing in a way, and we ended up winning the game. So he was on the field for that, and he also was 1-3 as an Eagle against Cowboys, which is a good thing. So we're going to talk that rivalry, but we're also going to interact a lot. So it'll be an opportunity because I said he was a radio broadcaster, so we're going to talk a lot of NFL in general, a lot of Cowboys. Just kind of, he had some thoughts. I had to pull up some old things, and he wasn't scared of the Cowboys because he's a Bucks guy in the playoffs. So get his thoughts about his, what he thinks about the team, what doesn't scare him, why did he say that, and did this team do enough to get over the hump? So we're gonna have a good time with Ian Beckles. He's a good dude, sharp. He speaks his mind. I will say that. I've listened to him a long time. So that's what I love about getting some of these guys on that used to play. They will tell it like it is. They don't really have anything hold them down, like the NFL and stuff. So it's gonna be a good show. So yeah, LeBron's almost done. Well, hopefully Miami can get it done tonight, and then we'll be one more from it'd be a Miami Denver. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing, but it's probably the series that the NBA wanted the least. But it looks like if Miami can handle their business, it's going to end up being that. Yeah, I agree. I mean, running backs take a beating, and they age quick, but the age is there, and in the body, but the mind and everything else is, I'm 47. I'm not ready to retire yet. I can't imagine being 30 and wanting to retire. I still got a lot of juice left in me, but I think these guys, if they set up their finances right and get into something, whether it be, real estate is always a good thing. Restaurants, I don't know about restaurants. I don't know if I'd want to be in a restaurant business. That's a business. You got to be there all the time, or your employees are, if you watch Roadhouse, skimming off the till a little bit and costing you a lot of money. So I don't know if I'd be in the restaurant game. That's just me. I know I got a lot of friends in the restaurant business, but I know for me, I wouldn't want to live there. So I think he can get into something. I think Zeke could obviously, get into TV. He's a legend at Ohio State, even though I don't like Ohio State, but there's a lot of options for him to do if he wants to change his career. Yeah, real estate is good in Florida right now. I was thinking, I'm getting tempted to sell my house, but I got the caves. I don't know what to do, but real estate's insane. I don't know how our kids, not to again get off subject, I don't know how our kids can afford to get houses anymore. I mean, you cannot. I mean, rent is insane. Imagine trying to buy a home in Florida. It's insane. Dak's got to step it up, man. No doubt about it. It's no excuses. He's got to, and that's why I've always been consistent. I think Dak's I think he's a above average quarterback. I wouldn't put him in, the top 5 ranks, but I think once you get after a couple, probably 3 to 10, as you can kind of just mix them up and throw them wherever you want. I think Dak's there, but what's holding Dak back is playoff success, primarily against the 49ers. But it's, the last 2 years, and that's what you remember. But it just takes one. Things go right. He plays the way he needs to. He's just got to play within himself. And I think that's the biggest thing sometimes maybe with some quarterbacks is they want to do it all. They want to be and I think Romo had a little bit of that. Want to be, the highlight reel, want to carry the team. And I just think you got a lot of supporting cast around you, man. Just, put the ball in the right spot, make the smart decisions. It's like Jimmy Johnson. They said punting is not the worst thing when you got a great defense. So if this defense steps up and becomes a great defense, that takes a lot of pressure off Dak. And the other thing, he did it more last year, but the one thing that I wish that he would do more is when you've got that opportunity to just run and get that first down, just run and slide and get that first down. You got 4 more downs. Don't hold the ball too long. If you got a lane, just take it, get the first down and slide. And hopefully, I think, he did that a little bit more last year. I know the ankle injury, people are saying he's a little hesitant with that, but you just gotta get that first down and go. And I think dumping it off, hitting your guys in space, I think that's where McCarthy's offense and what McCarthy's going to do for him, being more involved in it. I think that's going to help as well. The key to us, for the offense is the running game. You got Pollard coming off the injury. It's not ACL or anything like that. It's just a matter of, probably more mental for him. But it's a bone break. So, it's going to heal. And it's just his mindset. But that other running back, I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they got, I'm going to trust the offense if they got some up their sleeve, because you just don't know. Malik Davis could come out and just he could be a Marion Barber for all we know. You know what I'm saying? He could just be a bruising back. So, gonna put the trust in the Cowboys. They've done pretty good with personnel. I can't bitch too much about it. We've got a talented roster. We've had a talented roster. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see. Everyone wants to move to Florida. That's what the States gets when you play. That's right. But that is true. The other thing is, in case you guys missed it, I had to get up at 4 a.m. and that's what your boy caught it. I had to drive over to the East Coast. It was 3 hours. The boat left at 7:30, so I had to haul ass over there. Didn't get home till 9:30, but when you catch a fish like that, it kind of makes it worthwhile. So unfortunately, I did not know the rules over in that part of the state, but red snapper is protected until 2035. You can't keep any of them. So that beautiful fish I thought I'd be eating for a long time, I had to throw it back, which made it even worse because the boat that I was on gave a $200 prize for the biggest fish caught. And that's all they said. Now, that fish was the biggest fish caught on the boat. It wasn't even close. And they said that I didn't win the money because it wasn't a keeper. It was the biggest fish that you caught that you kept. There was no fine print that said that. It was bullshit. And cost me $200 on top of it. But I had a great time. And so I'm not going to complain too much, but bullshit. But yeah, losing Pollard, to me, that's when the game changed. When that's when, not necessarily changed, but that's when I thought we were dead. And I didn't understand why, because Zeke just didn't have it. Why they didn't run Malik Davis just to try, just to see if we can get a spark in the running game to get things going. I'll never understand that. But maybe there's just so much concern with him knowing, the pass protection or the offense. I don't know. I just don't know why they didn't give him the ball. So that was left the building. Let's see what he does. That's absolutely. The thing about Dak, I don't think anyone, even Ultra, can complain about Dak in the regular season. His record is good. I don't think he's ever had a losing season. Obviously, the injured season, it was only a few games in, but I'm pretty sure every other year that he played, they had a winning record. Double-digit wins, I think 3 or maybe 4 of the years that he was there, been the starter. So I don't think anyone has an issue with Dak Prescott in the regular season. Where the problem starts is in the playoffs. And then, to Ultra's, point, and really, that's why you can't make too big of an argument. You got to, when they talk about Hurts, Hurts had a path, but he won those playoff games and got him to the Super Bowl. That hurts a little bit. No pun intended, but it hurts the argument about Dak and Jalen, because that's ultimately all that matters. To this point, if you're a Cowboys fan, winning 12 games, big deal. Even winning a playoff game, big deal. It's got to get more. It's got to get better, and we've got to get to the Super Bowl. Enough is enough, and I'm just sick of talking about the playoff disappointment. So hopefully we'll get past it. Yeah, move to Florida. Well, a few more years. Let me know. My house might be up for sale because the way things are going, I might move out of here. No, I'll be downsizing though, I'm sure. But I got to have a cave, so that's the only thing that I got to do. At least you didn't catch anything else. Yeah, I tried. I was gonna get Uncle Cheech to go. We had an extra ticket last minute because a guy I work with he bailed on us, and but getting up at 4 in the morning. If you guys, anyone who knows Uncle Cheech knows that 4 in the morning they ain't working for Uncle Cheech. So yeah, so he didn't go. He didn't go. And what's up? Is that JJ? Morning, man. What's happening? We're just chilling here on a Sunday. I got to figure out what to do. Went last night, hung out a little bit, listened to some music today. Go chill a little bit, maybe grill out with some hamburgers or something. My son's coming back from the Keys. He went with some friends. He graduated high school, so he's coming back. A little senior trip. They did some fishing. He didn't catch the fish that I caught, but he did good with some fishing. And then obviously watch the Heat. Watch the Heat. Hopefully, man, it would be great to sweep Boston, man. It'd be so good. And I just don't know how the Heat will match up if they play Denver. But a lot of people said Boston was gonna put it to them. So this Heat team, it's like I said, Jimmy Butler. When you see him in the playoffs, and you saw what happened, I think it was Williams. He shit talked him and started doing that, and next thing you know, man, they went on a roll. And that's why I said, I think on Thursday show, man, I just wish Jimmy Butler we can infuse him into Dak in the playoffs, because Jimmy Butler's like the opposite. Jimmy Butler's quiet during the season. You don't really, like Miami was the 8th seed, doing the play-in and everything. And but man, when that playoff starts, he's like Michael Jordan. I mean, he was that way last year, and also the year they went to the finals. So I mean, he just brings it to another level, and that's what I'd love to see if we can get Dak. And we saw it, right? Tampa Bay, and I know people say, "Oh, Tampa Bay wasn't any good." We still had Tom Brady, and everyone and their brother did not. Most people didn't pick the Cowboys to win that game. So a lot of people were picking Tampa because Dallas never beat Brady, but we put it to them. But when you see a game like that with Dak, and then you see the game with San Francisco, it puzzles you. San Francisco, much better defense. I wouldn't expect them to throw up 5 touchdowns for it, but it just seems the pressure, is the bigger the game, the more the pressure. That's what it seems like he seemed to have trouble with, and I don't know, man. I'm hoping he can work through that, because I don't know how you fix it. I mean, we saw it with Romo, and it was kind of the same thing. So it'll be interesting. Nobody's beating the Nuggets. I know. I don't think we got an answer for that center. That's for damn sure. But you know what? I'm not gonna say never, man. We could, Miami wasn't supposed to beat a lot of teams. They ended up doing it. So we're going to see what happens, but we got to beat Boston first. I mean, there's no guarantee Boston can come in and Miami win 2, and then we're right back where we started. So I'm just going to just wait and just see what happens. Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, I went to Jimmy Johnson's restaurant and get the Godfather Jimmy on the show. I would love to get Jimmy Johnson on the show. He's tough, man. That's a tough get. I would love to get Jimmy Johnson, and I'm working on some other guys. As the show builds, as our credibility builds, as the subscribers and all that, it just legitimizes us even more. That's why you see Barry Switzer and Campo, and you get these Super Bowl guys on. So, we continue to do that. And like I said, I just love just mixing it up with a lot of these guys, man. It's, I always tell them, I said, just watch the show. I said, I don't do gotcha. I don't read off a question list. We're just going to shoot it and just talk football, talk Cowboys, or talk whatever team you had. It's got to be some ties back to the Cowboys, of course, but hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully it just continues to grow. Obviously with Kelly, he's, him and I have been having a lot of fun on Thursdays. Jimmy D, we continue to grow on Mondays. Too early for me. I wish it was a little bit later, but we set that up for football. When football season starts, we're right before Monday night, so we wanted to try and keep consistent. But yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead. I don't want to get too far ahead, but we will see what happens. So, but credibility gets stronger. Go, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, coffee there, but yes. Anyway, the main subject was the Cowboys defense. I'm feeling good about them. I'm excited. I think Quinn is he's been heaven sent, for us, and that's where you gotta, again, you gotta give McCarthy credit. You gotta give Jones credit. After that disaster. And the thing with Nolan, I know that COVID year, our defense was historically bad. And I think even McCarthy made the biggest mistake, they probably made was changing everything. And then you have that COVID year. You had no really true practice. You had no off season. Everything was virtual. So you're trying to install certain things, and it's not that easy. So we talked about it a little bit Thursday. Nolan, I don't want to dog him. I mean, his career as a coach has always been pretty damn good. You're always going to have some rough years in there. I mean, if you look at Quinn, I mean, he's had his defensive years where he had some rough years, on teams that he's coached. But I think overall, I think Nolan he's a good football mind. I just think it was just a bad situation. And looking back, like they said, they probably should have made all those changes that they did in that first year. But things happen for a reason. We get Dan Quinn. So it worked out great for us, and worked out great for the Cowboys. So I sent my notification. I'm still. Oh man, well that's the thing. You guys got to hit that notification. But definitely, if you guys know EJ, make sure you guys give him a follow. I know he's going to be working, getting some content up. Definitely going to have him on a bunch. Hopefully, if he wants to during the season, he's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of good stuff with the Cowboys. So definitely going to have some fun there. So let's see, preseason shows would be good. Yeah, training camp. The problem with training camp, it's all in California, and if I'm living in Florida, that is a long ass flight, and it's a long way to go. I would prefer if they would stay in somewhere in Texas, a little more central. I hate and anyone who knows me knows I hate West Coast time. I hate the time change. I hate the flights. So I want to get out to training camp one time. I just want to know, is the juice worth the squeeze? That's the only thing I don't know. I mean, it's an investment of time and money, and I'd rather, you have so many resources as a Cowboys fan and a season ticket holder. A lot of my resources are tied into the tickets. So, and I like going to those games. So you have choices to make, and so the choices are go to the games or go to a training camp. And I don't want to go to a training camp if I'm just going to sit there and sweat my ass off and just watch them kind of stroll through practice. It ain't like practicing back in the day when they're hitting hard and this and that. So that's what I don't know. So I gotta figure that out to see what happens. So yep, no, definitely, EJ. We're gonna be getting together, having a good time, and having a lot of shows. I want to do. Like Kelly and I said, we want to maybe do some post game. Hard, we're not gonna do a ton of them, but every now and then we get a post game show. We're getting the calling thing figured out. We got, interact. We just need you guys to interact more on the calls and when we put up the link to join in, because that's what it's all about, man. Like I said, we're fans, man. Like for me, I just love interacting and talking to everybody, and you guys are all knowledgeable Cowboy fans. I don't bring anything to the table that you guys don't bring. We all have opinions. I might be right. I might be wrong. I mean, I got blinders on certain players just like you guys do, but we talk through it, and you guys probably open my eyes, and maybe I open your eyes on some players too. So as long as it ain't a hate fest like my boy Carl, then it's all good and we have a good time, man. So let's see what else we got. Love the time change for NFL draft in Vegas. No, I mean I agree. The time is good. Like I love going to the West Coast on Sunday Night Football if there's there, because it's all done. The East Coast sucks for that. I just hate the flight. I hate 5 hours and then that time change of getting used to it and all of that shit. So they need to come back. San Antonio. They had San Antonio. What'd they do? They did was it Wichita Falls was a long time. They did camp there back in the day. And I think there was some other spots. But yeah, I wish they would. But I mean, shoot, man, they got the star. And I know they want to expand their fan base. So that's why they move it around to different spots to build up the fan base. That's why they're in California. Just to continue to grow that. But man, you got that beautiful facility at the Star. It's like, man, I'd want to hang out there, but maybe you got to go through some tough stuff to get you mentally prepared. But I think the players are past all that now, man. It's all high end and all that kind of stuff. Is I remember Tampa's training facility. Maybe I'll ask Ian about it before they built a new one. I mean, the weight room was outside. Now we're talking about outside in Tampa, Florida, outside in the heat in training camp, and it looked like a high school weight set. I mean, it's just the old school stuff, and it was all rusted up. And then they built this beautiful. They built a beautiful facility too over in Tampa. So it just it depends. It depends, but I definitely want to get out to training camp one year. Hopefully sooner than later. But if they moved it to Texas, I would get out there and I'd get out there real quick. So I got a question. Repeat training camp. I think if I want what I want to happen, what I would love to happen is to see, and Ultra is going to get all mad, is to see Jalen Tolbert be the guy, because I think if we can get a number 4 receiver to really, take that next step like Tolbert and the investment that we had in him, that's what I want to see. I think the other one, you don't want to put the obvious names like Amazi. I mean, you're expecting him to do good. I think Overshown he's another one that may be undersized, but on the defensive side, I think we can what we expect in Sam Williams. He would be the obvious choice that you'd want to see him better, but I think he's kind of past that. But I think Overshown is a guy that I think it would be really, with the speed that he has from. And again, I'm no expert on him. I'm just going off what you guys told me about him. There's a lot of upside with him. So I think that would be one where if you can see him elevate to that next level, and that's been that transition from college to pro is not easy. Jalen Tolbert figured that, he found that out last year. But if we can get one of those two guys on either side of the ball, I think, because our linebacker core has me a little concerned. So that'd make me feel a lot better. And then on the offense, I just think if you can get Tolbert in there with the skill set that the ability he has, and you get him at a 4 receiver, and of course you got Gallup coming 2 years off that injury, and he seems to be, highly motivated and getting going. And obviously you got Cooks and you got, CD. It's going to be, it'll be exciting. Hope the fullback. Yeah, I don't know if he's, sometimes you get these fan picks, the heartwarming stories, and you hope that everyone thinks he's great and all that, and they hype him up. I mean, we've had a bunch of them through the years in Dallas. Hey, I hope he does well too. I'd like every guy to do it, but I still go back to, well, he's undrafted free agent. Wasn't like he was at a huge school. So is he just a fun story, or is he legit? I guess time will tell. I don't know nothing about him, man. I've never watched a college football game from, was that North or South Dakota State, wherever he's from. But I hope he does good, but it'll be, he's going to get his opportunity. He's going to get his opportunity. Yes. Red Wine. I talked to him about earlier. I like Red Wine. I didn't even know he was on a team. I guess we signed him last year or something like that at the practice squad. But I know he's been around. I think he was in Carolina. I think he started out in Carolina. But we need some Miami guys on this team, man. You got to get some guys from the U. That's when it all happened. The other thing from the U, which I totally forgot, and I got to look into it, because I always said if one of our Cowboys goes to the Eagles, I'd be so upset and disappointed. And I forgot Darren Smith played for the Eagles in '90. When I was looking up the stuff with Ian Beckles and going back to some of the things, I forgot Darren Smith played with the Eagles, and and I've been trying to get Darren Smith. He was another one I wanted to get on the show. Man, that would be, it made it even more intriguing, because then he played with the Cowboys and then he went to the Eagles. Really get both sides of it. Obviously had more success with the Cowboys, but I forgot that he went to the Eagles, because it would be like, if Zeke went to the Eagles, all the Zeke stuff out of here. I mean, I don't think I'd ever be able to bring it back in. And I was looking at it. I'm just trying to think, do I have anything in here from anyone who went to the Eagles? And I don't think honestly, I have Darren Smith's autograph, but I don't think I have it in here. I don't see it. So it's probably just packed away with some other stuff. So yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But It's definitely going to be fun to get him on there. So I think I read the Eagles just signed they did sign him, and Rambo is I honestly I hope he does well. I thought, I wanted to see him get that opportunity. I was surprised that he didn't, get drafted. I mean, he was our offense that year, and he came on strong with Van Dyke. Him and Van Dyke had a connection. So I hope he does well enough to where I don't know if he makes the Eagles team. I don't know how deep they're pretty deep at receiver, but hopefully he shows enough where he can get on a team because I like Charleston Rambo, and I'm glad to see he got the opportunity. And again, that's what the USFL and that's what the XFL, that's what these other leagues are doing. They're getting these guys the exposure, like Turpin. I mean, Turpin he definitely wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the USFL the year before, got him noticed. So I think it's a good thing, for him, and I'm glad he's getting that opportunity. I'll catch you later. Yes. Go hang out. I'm getting ready to bounce myself because it's a Sunday. My wife and daughter had to run to go raise some money for their cheer team. They're still doing all that kind of stuff. So, but just definitely wanted to check in. But before I bounce out, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, share, get that out of the way, spread the word, let Cowboys Nation know. Cause like I said, we've got we're putting together some stuff for you guys and hopefully interact and get you guys to like it. But Monday, live, 7 p.m. Me and my boy Jimmy D, 7 p.m. Eastern. I know it's early for you guys in Texas time, but Wednesday's special show, Ian Beckles, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, former Philadelphia Eagle. He's a Tampa Bay radio broadcaster, sports broadcaster for 12 plus years in local radio. Does an awesome job. I think he started up a YouTube channel in the past as well. So going to get him on, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check all that out. I appreciate it. We'll be talking more. You guys have a great Sunday. Make sure you barbecue. Make sure the weather's good. Hit the beach. Do whatever you guys got to do. And I'll definitely see you up. One last good morning to Mama. Good morning. I say you're a little late, but make sure you guys check out the show Monday and next week. And go back if you missed any of those player interviews, man. That's right there on the YouTube. Those things are timeless. So if you missed any of the Cowboys or missed any of the Joe Washington talking about the Redskin rivalry with the Cowboys and JT Thomas talking about the Steelers rivalry with the Cowboys in those Super Bowl years, it's a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check it out. I will see you tomorrow night. Have a great Sunday.
The Eagles getting ready because you might not like it, but you will learn to love it because we are the best thing going today. Now, can you dig it?